So hello, welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also support my small business at latricelimited.com. So today we're actually just going to be talking about this crazy thing that I just found out about, which is in regards to the police officers pretty much not having to Mirandize you, and you cannot sue if they fail to do so. Okay, there's a little bit to unpack with this, but we're going to get it all explained, all right? So it says the Supreme Court rules out suing police for Miranda violations. So for people who do not know what the Miranda Rights is or are, it's essentially, police officer when they are about to arrest you and whatnot, them saying, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the power of an attorney, whatever, right? So that's essentially what that is. And essentially what Miranda rights are is just like a refresher on what your rights are, okay? We know, y'all, Americans are not the most politically savvy or the smartest, okay? It's just, that's just what it is, all right? So this is just letting you know, okay, this is what your rights are. This is what you can do. You don't have to self-incriminate yourself and stuff like that. All right. So I have a little article here, and then I'm going to read a little bit. And of course, I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions as we go. So it says the Supreme Court on Thursday ruled that law enforcement officers cannot be sued when they violate the rights of criminal suspects by failing to provide a familiar Miranda warning before questioning them. The justice ruled 6-3 in favor of the sheriff deputy who was sued after he failed to read a Miranda warning. You have the right to remain silent, when he had to read it to somebody else. So pretty much they cannot be sued. Police officers cannot be sued when they fail to read you your Miranda rights. All right. So this gets really tricky and gets a little weird because, and I've seen a lot of people ask, they're like, okay, well, so what happens if they arrest me and they don't read me my Miranda rights? So can I go to the courtroom and say like, hey, this needs to be dropped because XYZ, they didn't read it to me. Okay. Now, this is where it gets really sticky because a cop could say, cops are legally allowed to lie to you during interrogation practices. They can lie to you, okay? They can say, yeah, I heard, that blah, blah said you did this and we got evidence to prove it. You know what I mean? And then if you incriminate yourself or whatever, that's just taken as fact, all right? But the thing with this is this. They don't read you your rights to you. We see on TV all the time, oh, okay, well, you could just drop the case. Murder charges are gone. Anything you may have done or they accuse you of doing anyways is gone. All right. So you don't have any problems with that. You don't have to worry about it. Right. But in the reality, that's not what it is. They don't read you your rights. You still, whatever they arrested you for, they're still going to arrest you for and charge you with. Let's say you stole a car. Well, you didn't read my rights. It don't matter. All right. And then you may have some people who say, well, it does matter. They have to read you right. They have to tell you why they're arresting you. They have to tell you what rights you may have, lawyers, self-incrimination, etc. Well, who's to say that a cop doesn't just say, well, I read them their rights. They just didn't do anything. But I read them their rights. Who's to say that someone doesn't just do that? So this is the problem that we do have, because people are going to be caught out there. That's just what is going to happen. People are going to be caught out there. They're going to not get Mirandized, which they're supposed to, but they're not. And then they're going to think like, oh, okay, well, I'm good then. And it's like, nah, you ain't. And we know cops, they make up things, they plant evidence. So this is just another thing. For me, what this kind of shows a lot of is essentially, what this shows me is essentially with the cops not having to do this. This is just another thing for them to go ahead and, have more control than what they really need. They could say that they did this, they didn't do it. They could say that they, told you about XYZ and then they didn't do it, So it just seems like it's getting more of the blame off of them. Then you can't even sue them. when they don't do what they're supposed to do. You know, so it's just giving them way too much power, in my opinion. And I'm for police officers. I think it's crazy that people are like, well, we don't need police officers in here, da da da. And I'm not one of those people, okay? But I do feel like this is treading into dangerous territory, very much so, because I mean, who's to say what the next rule is going to be? Yeah, you can't sue them at all then, and we already know how hard it is, just in general, to get a cop to be persecuted. We've seen a cop put his knee on somebody's neck, and people are like, well, oh no, got a whole video of it. Well, I mean, it could have been self-defense. So all I'm seeing is this is just going to get worse, and this is just one step towards that. One step, just putting a penny in right now, and then we're going to have a little bit more change a little bit later on. But those are my thoughts and my opinions about the situation. Have you guys heard about this? Have you guys had any kind of case in your particular, life, where maybe they didn't Mirandize you, or someone that and then it got dropped, or maybe it didn't get dropped, and what was that about? I would love to know down in the comments down below. And until then.